Welcome back, everyone. In this video, I've got a big announcement I'm going to make. I'm super excited about this, but before we get into that, let me provide a little bit of context. So dance is a subject that I've always been drawn to, and many of you have seen my photographs from camera reviews over the last few years, first working in color and then moving over to black and white, and much of my own inspiration for this goes all the way back to my childhood, looking at the paintings of my father's friend, painter Robert Heindel. Edgar Degas was another huge inspiration, capturing the pureness and beauty of the physical art form and the explorations of the human figure. Degas was also notably a photographer, though few examples exist. They've always been tremendously inspiring to me. Alexei Brodovich's book Ballet is another major inspiration. So a lot of this book was done in low light in the 1940s. Brodovich's work pushed the limits of what the 35mm camera could do at that time, and he embraced motion blur and high contrast, giving a unique look to the images he produced. Of course, a very different take comes from Alfred Eisenstadt's ballet work. It's also a huge inspiration. Utilizing the studio and natural light gave him a very unique perspective that played well into his photojournalistic style. Now, most of the images that I've made over the last 3 years that you guys have seen in various videos were done actually in collaboration with my friend Alexandra Light, who choreographed all of the material that I've used as a subject. The dancers are all members of the Texas Ballet Theater and are extremely inspiring in their artistic abilities as well as physical capabilities. This has been a platform for me to explore the subject of dance in the photographic sense, freezing moments in time and composing, all within a highly improvised setting. It's one of my favorite ways to work. Which brings me to my announcement today. We are going to do a workshop around this idea. In fact, this is the first workshop that I'm announcing for 2025. So this is going to be called Dancer As Motif. So this workshop is going to be happening the first weekend in April. So that's going to be April 4th through 6th, 2025. We're going to be doing this in New York City. I also want to note that I'm actually going to be co-teaching this workshop with my friend Alexandra Light. Alexandra is the choreographer that did all the stuff that you've seen in these images. And what's going to be really special about this is not only will you be learning from me as a photographer, but we have a choreographer also to tell us about what we're looking at in dance, talk about leg lines, arm lines, form, all the kinds of things that as photographers we probably wouldn't know. Alexandra is extremely talented, not only as a dancer, which she has been for the last couple years at the Texas Ballet Theater, but she has actually decided to do a career change, and she is striking out on her own to be a choreographer. So this is going to be a really interesting situation because we're going to have not only a choreographer who's also going to help me teach, but we'll have 3 dancers that we're going to be spending the weekend with as well. So here's the schedule of how everything is going to kind of work. So we'll start with an online prep session on Zoom to kind of get everybody ready and acclimated. We'll go over specifics of the schedule and what we're going to be working on, and also the things you should bring and what you can expect. We'll have a time for questions, and that will get us ready to travel. So when we get to New York City, we'll actually get there on Friday. We open with a dinner, which will include presentations from myself and Alexandra. Then we'll spend the next 2 full days in studio, and we've got a ton of stuff planned. When you think of the idea of dancer as motif, what do you do with a motif? Well, you learn to expand on it. And this is going to be a really specific workshop. We're not going to be working with studio lighting, anything like that. It's going to be all natural light, and we're going to really dig in and get to the core of this whole improvisational approach. Saturday and Sunday, we'll be in studio, and we'll have multiple photo shoot sessions designed to workshop through ideas about the figure with specific assignments and directions from myself and Alexandra. Our 3 models are professional ballet dancers, and the sessions are going to occur both in studio, and our plan is actually to get outside a little bit and see how we can incorporate different scenes and even architecture into the work that we're doing. This is a fairly intensive weekend, but the goal is to actually get you into a place where you're shooting new stuff and you're doing something that's very different than anything you've ever done before you've attended this workshop. And of course, a couple weeks after we're done, we usually do a reunion thing, which will be back online, where we can review work and you can see what your colleagues have done. This is going to be a lot of fun. Now, if you're interested, I do want to note that we are going to limit this to 16 participants, and so we're going to put a hard cap on that. So if you're interested, you might want to go put your deposit in now, so at least it'll hold your place. And I'll have details to everything I'm talking about in the link below this video, so make sure you go check that out. If for some reason you're on mobile and you can't find the link below this video, just go to tedforbes.com and you'll find all of the information there. So Dancer As Motif, this is our first workshop that I'm announcing for 2025, and I'm super excited about this. I think it's going to be a really awesome opportunity for people to come together and do some really interesting things creatively. And I love the fact that Alexandra has agreed to teach this with me, because I think from her perspective, and she and I have worked very closely together, and that's something that I think is really important because I've learned a lot from her as well. I mean, I understand the photography side of of it, but understanding the dance side and getting to a greater depth with that is going to impact the work that you do, and it certainly has impacted mine in the past. So anyway, check out the link if you are interested, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, later.